people may not be here and they want to have the replay. So we always capture all our sessions. So I think we've got everybody ready to go. So I'm going to make Timmy, I'm going to make you co-host. What do we do there? So that I don't get distracted. So Bami, I've made you co-host now, yeah?
Okay, ma'am.
Brilliant. So, hello everyone. Just help me let people in so I can just focus for now. Right, welcome to Female Techpreneur Cohort 2 Bootcamp. I'm happy, I'm super excited to have you on here today, and it's going to be amazing. You chose to be here, and I want you to make the best of the next 8 weeks that we will be here holding your hands to learn something new. So this week is orientation. So telling you what to expect in the next 8 weeks. So before I even go into all the drama, yeah, I just want to tell you a little bit about female tech. What is Female Techpreneur? How did it come about? And what do we actually stand for? So March 2020, we launched this community called Female Techpreneur. It came about from wanting to help to get more females into tech, either as a career or as a business. So we created the event on the 5th of March before COVID. Everybody came out and it was really nice. And guess what? March 15, UK went into lockdown. There's this thing called COVID-19 that was happening in China, and we didn't really pay any attention to it. It's happening to those people, not knowing that it's going to change the world. Not only did it change the world, it changed the landscape for a lot of industries, how they do their business, how they relate with people. In fact, communication, every bit of our life was touched by COVID-19. So we carried on doing different things in the background to stay sustainable. And here we are today. So what do we do? At the moment, maybe there are some other ones that I don't know about. We are the only platform that offers females in tech a full wraparound solution. So we run accelerator, we help build tech solutions, we offer, let me remove this thing. We offer a community, and we also try to help people get funding for their startup. So we've done all of these things in all different ways. So we were running like a boot camp for founders that have an idea from concept to launch, and helping them to connect with angel investors or venture capitalists that would fund their startups. And these are people building tech solutions, different solutions, amazing businesses, and also the opportunity for us to actually interact with them and get to know them better. So we're originally launched in UK, but oftentimes in all of our programs, we have people joining from all over the world. So can you tell me where you're joining us from today? If, you know, just drop it in the chat box. Where are you joining us from today? I would like to know, because the last one, this is the second bootcamp that we're running. We started the first one in May 2021 this year, and we did it for 8 weeks. And it was so amazing. You know, it's so life transformational that people were like, oh, when is the next one? When is the next one? So we didn't even catch our breath. Okay, I can see Temi, Lagos, Nigeria, Debbie from London, Philanthropist for Lake from Kent, UK, Esther from UK. Wow. Jamila Pete from London, UK, Tina from Lagos, Ayo Ibadan. Wow. Excellent, thank you. It's good to know where everybody is at the moment. So that's fantastic. The last time we had people from Canada, from US and Brazil, and the time zone was a little bit off for some people. But I think we're good with the current cohort that we have right now. So just back to what I was sharing about female tech, you know, we want to empower women, we want to innovate, and we want to ignite. As you can see, we have some men in this group, in this community. Why is that? Because there aren't enough of us. And that is what we're trying to do. We want to change the narrative. We want to make sure that when designs are being created, we are part of that solution as well. And also to let people know that tech is not something to be scared of. It's not something that is geeky or boring. It depends on what aspect of technology you want to go into. Okay, so if you're here sitting in this class thinking, oh, okay, I have a business, or maybe, you know, I want to change my career, don't worry, we've got you. So again, I am Eden from North Cyprus. Wow, what's it like in North Cyprus? Is it hot? So can you tell me a little bit about yourself? Remember, we're just meeting ourselves today. So what do you do? What do you do right now? And what are you looking to achieve? Are you looking to change a career? Are you looking to launch a business? Are you actually getting started into technology? Just to see where you are with everything. Remember, this is a very safe community. We're all together. We have the same mindset. We want to launch our career or business in technology. And everybody, every single one of us here, we're here to help each other out. So could you please drop it in the chat box, what you're doing and what you're looking to achieve from this training? So I'll be keeping my eye on that at the moment. So, okay, Ayomide, what do you do? Are you already in tech? Are you looking to get into tech? Or you have a business and you want to build your own website, so to speak? Now, how do we engage? We have a platform, we call it Forum. So I believe everyone should have gotten a link and a code to sign into this platform. So we want this to be very interactive, where you can add your profile, your bio, post any question. Trust me, the instructors are going in there to check in from time to time. So if you're giving assignments or if there's anything, okay, philanthropist, for like I said, advanced family support practitioner, going to owning my primary school. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Okay, that's fantastic. I'm a lawyer. I'm looking to switch careers. Oh my God. Tell me, do you know that in our community, we have a legal person and all she does is legal tech. So you are in the right place. She does legal tech because everybody that's building a website, you need to design terms and conditions. So that is what the privacy policy, data, all of that is actually, legal tech is a niche in itself. Because originally people might wonder, oh, I'm doing X, Y, I'm doing law. What has that got to do with tech? No, there's GDPR. There's so many things that you can blend in together and make a niche for yourself. Okay. Oh, thanks, Bami. So that's amazing. Jamila said, I'm doing masters in social work, but I want to move into tech, specifically UI, UX. Brilliant. Yes, you can. I currently work in business consulting. I'm looking to start a career in tech. I've seen a few. I want to start a career in tech. Debbie Spice, work in legal, looking to find a footing in tech. Brilliant. So let's say we're all beginners, right? Is that a fair assumption that we're looking to start a career in tech, which means this bootcamp is perfect for you because we've tailored it that we don't want to scare you away from day one, like, oh my God, I'm having to write code. I'm having to do, hard stuff. So we're going to break you in gently. So make use of the platform that we have. Make it your first point of call to add any information. We also have Telegram. I believe you've been given the link to join Telegram. If not, please do so. We have a group one and we have a specific one for each work stream, so that if you want to ask specific question, you know where to go. Just drop it in your own group chat box, okay? But let the forum, this platform, be your first point of call. The reason I say that is sometimes Telegram can go tomorrow, WhatsApp can go tomorrow, but this website is our own space. You can always come back to it to download your content at any point in time. And, it's a lot easier than sharing information on Telegram or, WhatsApp. Debbie, so I said, tech has scared me for so long, so I'm ready to face it. Yay. Let's give her a round of applause. Wow, 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 wow. I'm so happy that you took this bold step. And, it can only be better because this is a good time to be in technology, to be fair with you. The market is booming, the opportunities everywhere. We have been forced into it and it's going to be like that. So a little bit of housekeeping, put your Zoom on mute. I think we're all doing that. Put your hands up if you have any question. Please ask me questions. There is no stupid question anywhere. So if you think of anything, trust me, somebody else is thinking about the same question. So don't feel like, oh, it's going to sound silly. Nope. Use the chat box, please. Let's be engaging. This is week 1. I want you to understand that we're here for you. We're going to hold your hands. We're going to make it very easy for you. So feel free, relax. And I want us to build a community. I want us to build a relationship beyond even this program. So if you have any feedback, share your feedback with us anytime. Email us. We're ready to respond to you. And by all means, feel free to hashtag people. You can do a screenshot and tell them what you're up to, okay? If you're not following our pages, please do so, because oftentimes most information is normally dropped on our pages as well. For instance, in fact, I think maybe 50% of the people that are here probably heard about us on social media. So we use it quite a lot. Oh, Abby says, hi, my name is Abby. I'm management consultant specializing with health and social care sector. I'm an entrepreneur. I would like to expand my knowledge in data analytics. Brilliant. I hope John and Victoria are taking notes of what people are saying, because you will be the facilitator. Thank you, Abby, for joining us. So this is our social media handle. If you don't know about them, you can take a screenshot and connect with us, okay? Now, what are the ways that we can support you? After the post the program, or even now, you can join our Talent Hub. You can sign up to be a member of Female Techpreneur. You can volunteer if you've got the time to actually support any of our initiatives. We do, at the moment, we have a lot of people volunteering, supporting this vision, because it's too big for one person to carry, and the more people that comes on board, the better for everybody. Okay, Debbie says, knew about you from Speak for Good 9. Oh, thanks, Debbie. Brilliant. I think I can see a few Speak for Good community, my Speak for Good tribe here. I'm giving you thumbs up, thumbs up. And also you can apply for mentorship. And if you can mentor somebody, if you're an instructor, you're here, you want to mentor somebody, please let me know. And you can also submit your CV for potential opportunities. I'm not guaranteeing work. Like I say to somebody, I said, it's only God that gives people work. Do we all agree with that? It's God that gives people work. We all try. Our own bit is to do what we can do, learn, acquire the skills that we need, be best at what we do, yeah? And then we wait for the blessing to come. There's something they call it, oh, you're lucky. Is opportunity meets preparedness. That's not luck, because you have prepared, you have sowed, you have watered, you have planted. So you're now reaping the reward. Somebody is telling you you're lucky. You are all sacrificing your Saturday to be here. So when you're reaping the reward, somebody will say, Debbie is lucky. What do you mean by lucky? Debbie has been sitting in the classroom learning every single day. So I want to encourage you all that nothing is unachievable. It's all in our minds. Sorry if it sounds like I'm preaching, but I need to get this out there. It's all in our mind. We can do absolute anything we want to do. In this space, you've got the community to support you, to get you We've got Bami, we've got Temi, we've got Adaura, who are the bootcamp coordinators. They can help you, any question whatsoever. So don't ever feel like you're alone. The last cohort that we did, in fact, before we finished, the people started coordinating their own Zoom lessons to do their assignments. So I want us to all relate with each other like we're family. Mo Taiwo says, I'm a business for now, but trying to go back into the career world. I'd like to add tech to it. I'm looking forward to start my MSc program in data analytics in September. So I want to prepare myself ahead. Wow. Wow. Well done, Mo. I think that's brilliant. Mo, where are you based? So a little bit, just to go back to the agenda, I've done the welcome introduction to female tech. And I wanted us to do a bit of icebreaker and also share your expectation. Okay, Mo is in Lagos. Then we're going to do UI UX intro. We're going to have a 10 minutes break and we're going to do front-end introduction. We move on to data intro, we do Q&A and we wrap up. Why do we do this? Some people sign up for data analytics, but they're not even sure whether it's data they want to do. Or they don't even know what product design is. So this is your opportunity to understand the flow of how the whole thing hangs together. Because when you get into a role, you don't work in isolation. You work with a developer. You work with a UI UX person. You work with a business analyst. You work with a project manager. How does that link up with my role as a data analytic person? So what we're going to do is to give you an overview of these 3 work streams, okay? In fact, in this group, we have people that attended front-end last cohort and they're here to do data. So it's like the more you know, the more you learn, the better you become. I started, I'm a business analyst, yeah? And when I started to teach people so that I can be exceptionally good at what I do. And that teaching, my mother is a teacher, by the way, or was a teacher. I love teaching people because anybody that's teaching will be learning. There are people in the waiting room. So you learn more by teaching. So if you know that we learn at different pace, right? In the group, some people will be like that, they will get it. Some people won't get it straight away. So let's help each other out. If you understand it better, if you're ahead or you're very, very vast at what you do, bring everybody along. Let's be on the same page. So this is the agenda that we're planning to do. Is everybody fine with that? Do you want to know about UI UX? You want to know about data? Do you want to know about front end? So I think it's better to show you the whole spectrum. It's going to be intro, not in depth, but it will give you enough. If somebody was to ask you or say something about UI UX, you can actually talk about it because tech is not in isolation. Are we okay with that? Did I get a thumbs up? Yes, yes. Okay, Augustina said yes, please. Anyone else? Anyone happy with that? Brilliant. Is there anything else you would like me to cover that is not on this agenda today? Jamina said, thank you for your thumbs up. Happy to see that. Thank you, everybody. So, because even me, I'm not a data analytics person, so I want to know more about it. So you get to see the intro today. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Esther. Right, so it's time to get to know you. Thank you, Ife. It's time to get to know you. So I'm going to stop sharing my slide. I want at least 6 people to talk to us about, oh, okay, Kikanos, I'm happy to learn you. Perfect, thank you. So I'm happy we made that decision. Thank you, team. You know yourselves, right? Faith, Timmy, I'm going to introduce you in a minute anyway. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'm going to stop sharing my slide. If you can please put your camera on. I just want to get to know a few of us. We don't have enough time to go around everybody in the room, but at least let's see who is here. So, who wants to go first? Otherwise, I'll pick a name, right? I'll pick somebody. I'm very good at picking. So my eyes is going round and round. Okay, Marufat, are you able to speak right now? Marufat, I'm calling you. So let's hear from you. Anyone else? Just put your hand up if you want to share. Just tell me why you're here, what you're looking to achieve, what are your expectations, you know? And I just want to know people. I don't want to just see blank faces. Thank you, Philanthropist Folake, for coming online. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Do you want to speak?
Well, yes. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Yes, I'm one of the Speak for Gold alumni. So thank you. For me, I think I had a clarity call with you some months ago where I am in the process of relocating. I live currently in UK, relocating back to Nigeria to take over a school. And I want that school to actually be to do a lot of things online. I want the school to be able to have access to a portal, to be able to do submit homework and all of those things. And I basically don't have any knowledge of tech. So I think, for me, the best way to start is basically to get some knowledge so that when I have the right people on board and they're giving me all these technical jargon words, at least I can say, yes, I've heard that from BB Tech. I know what that means. So for me, is knowledge, just to basically prepare myself for what is about to come. Yeah, and I'm really excited. And I don't know, I might turn up to be a tech person, but I don't think I'm passionate about tech, but I'm willing to learn.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. So did you register for data analytics?
I registered for the front web. I don't even know what that means. Yes, but I'm ready for you to slot me into what I would need, because I don't even know what I registered for, because I just choose one. But when I went on your Instagram, you kind of explain it. And even when I read it, I didn't even know what it meant. I said, okay, but please slot me into where you think I fit, because I don't have a preference.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Maybe at the end of today,
yes,
once we've done the intro, you have more clarity.
Okay then, thank you.
But I think maybe product design might be a good place to start, because
yes, I'm happy for that.
Yeah, the front end has an element of coding and
okay. No coding, please.
Exactly. You might have to start writing JavaScript.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to put my camera off because on my way to a tea party.
Okay.
So I will be listening. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. So I can see Debbie putting her hand up. Debbie.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Oh, Falake, you look lovely, by the way, and so do you, Bibi.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone, or afternoon, wherever you are. So I first found you, knew about you when you were one of the speakers in Speak for Gold 9, where I attended. And apart from you, I felt every other thing on there. I got something, but I felt they were kind of above my head. So I shut down, but I kept coming back to your page. I don't know. And I think I missed the last class by just a few hours. So I've taken my time to look through your page, and I wasn't sure, like I said, where I fit in, but I like to write and I like researching. So I'm thinking it's more UX UI, but I don't know where I fit in. But the world is going techie, and I think it's time I followed suit. I work in legal at the moment anyways.
I think you signed up for UI UX, didn't you?
I don't know if I've even signed up. I mean, I literally registered about 10 o'clock this morning.
Okay.
So I just thought, you know what? If I get on, I'll figure it out. Yeah. Thank you.
Well done for taking that step. It's not going to be easy. I'm not going to lie to you, but it will be worth it if you put in the time. So don't switch off this time. Stay tuned, okay? Thank you so much for sharing. And I think by the end of today, you have more clarity because the facilitators will tell us these 3 work streams, what they do, what they're about, and what to expect. So thank you, Debbie, for speaking, and thank you for your feedback. You know, there's something I say that your life is a stage, your life is a story, and you don't know who is watching. So always, always present the best of you. When I'm teaching at Speak for Good, I tell people that, do you do something called audit? Google your name on internet and see what is there. What comes back to you? There's an incident of a woman that she's in one of these Facebook group, and they said, oh, somebody did something. And she went there to comment, and she made a very nasty comment that if that man was to have done that to her, she would just kill the man or something. Somehow, this is a close-knit community. The husband got to see the message, the thoughts in the head of his wife. What did he do? By the time she got home, her bags were already outside. So don't let us make any loose comments. Don't let us, you need to be intentional about everything. Like you being here now, you've taken a step, share it, make yourself accountable that I'm here today. And one of the things is when you put something out there, you can't back out. So you need to have a coping mechanism that when something is not going your direction or the way you think, how do I make myself accountable? So in this group, have an accountability partner. Key in with the facilitators. At least for each of the work streams, we have minimum of 2. Reach out to them, be a pen, like hassle them, hassle me, hassle anybody. Because until you get what you want, don't let go. At the end of the day, there are about 30 odd people on this call. You know, there's something they say in Yoruba. Sorry if you know Yoruba. You know, whoever something pinch in the feet is the one chasing the person that will help them. So don't think, oh, I'm too much problems, oh, I'm going to go back. Be the problem, be the pain until you get what you want. Thank you for listening to me. I don't want to preach, but I could keep finding myself going that direction. But I think, you know, our mindset needs to be in the right place. Anybody else that wants to speak? I'm just going to pick again. Anyone? Coin Sola, can you tell us how you got here and what you're looking to achieve? We need to move on now. Coin Sola Musuro, are you able to speak?
Good afternoon, everybody. So I joined this program to advance my knowledge on data analytics.
Okay. Thank you. You're welcome. So if there's, okay, Temi, let's take one more person. Temi, over to you.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'm so happy to be here. And I've been thinking of switching. I already mentioned that switching to tech, but not really in the legal tech aspect. I actually just want to learn a bit more about data analytics and try to switch careers totally.
Wow.
So I look forward to learning with everyone here. Thank you.
Thanks, Temi. And, you know, data is like, as blood is to human being, data is like that to businesses. So we need to be able to understand our data, be able to interpret it, and so on and so forth. So thank you. And like I said before, I didn't think law and tech, you know, go hand in hand until of recent. So there is actually a lot of demand for, you know, getting your terms and conditions correct, even as a tech founder, you need to write different agreements. So this is where the lawyer comes in. You know, when we build mobile application, for their terms and condition, we need a lawyer to do that. So this is where your legal background and your tech experience comes together, because then you can ask the right question. And people do this as consultants, at least in the UK, you know, it's mandatory, because if you're taking like Female Techpreneur now, if people are signing up for membership, I had to get a lawyer to write the terms and condition, because they can sue you. So welcome and thanks for joining us today. And I hope at the end of this program, your needs would not only be met, will be surpassed. Right, so I'm Buki. I don't think I've introduced myself. Well, some of you know me already. So I'm the founder of Female Tech, and I run a company called Crystal Options. We build tech solutions. Some people know me as BB Tech. So I help and coach people to become more visible online. So a lot of us are online, but we're online for not the good reasons. So people would go to Instagram and share, but you have a business, you have not even told anyone about what you're doing. You have not even promoted yourself effectively. And when you actually promote yourself, there's no means to convert. There's no way they can engage with you professionally. So if you're that person, repent. You know, there's no point spending our time on social media 24/7 without a purpose. So I'm going to introduce Temi. Temi, I'm sure a lot of us have been getting emails. Temi is the brain behind it all. She's been sending the emails out and onboarding everyone. So let me say thank you to Temi Tope, who is one of the coordinators. She's been with me for quite a while now, I think. She ran Cohort 1 and now she's doing Cohort 2. Let me say thank you to Temi. She's very gentle. I call her a gentle giant. You know, she's very gentle but very effective. So thank you, Temi. And then we have Adara, aka Jane Fonda. So Adara is, she studied elect from University of Ilorin, and she's going to be helping with data. So she's the coordinator for data analytics work stream. So you'll be seeing her messages popping up and, you know, trying to help us get through. She's also a beginner in Python, so it's going to be useful for her to be in that group. And then we have Bami, the Energizer. She is a technical writer. She's good at writing and she's got tech experience. I think, you know, Bami she's fun loving and she's a tech chick. So she's going to be supporting the front end work stream. So thank you, Bami, for everything that you do. We also have Alimat. So Alimat is one of the product designer. She's going to be helping you with the tools. So the people that in from product UI UX is product design, basically is the same thing. So she's going to be helping with that. And then we have Timmy. So Timmy is an award-winning designer. I like your bio, Timmy. You don't shy from like putting it out there. There's something I say to people. We try to be modest, right? If you're great at something, if you've achieved something, put it out there. I used to think it's pride. Oh, I'm showing off. No, it's not. It's your hard work. So let people know that you're an award-winning designer. So he's going to be working on product design as well, UI, UX. And we have Faith. Faith is going to be our lead on product design. He's going to be sharing today as well. He's a freelance UX designer with years of experience, and he has his own company as well. And he actually teaches in another organization. So you are in good hands. So moving on, for our front end, we have Marufat. She's on the call. I wanted her to speak because she sent me a message today that was really powerful. And I was thinking it would be great for her to share it today. So Marufat, whenever it's okay for you to speak, if it's less noisy, let me know. She's been a peer trainer in this recently concluded Digital Future Initiative, a collaboration of Zaria Elizabeth Foundation. She's very, very experienced. She's studying for a PhD right now in computer engineering. Oh my, wow. You can just imagine some serious technology going on there, you know, PhD, thumbs up. And then we have Favor. Favor is is so experienced, like he makes it look so simple. And he was with us for Cohort 1 and he's still with us. So he's one of the software developers at SQI ICT Consultant. I'll let you experience what Favor is like when he teaches calmly and effectively. So he's going to be taking our front end. And then we have data analytics. We have John. John is a data analyst and he's got years of experience in working with using different data tools. I'm not going to even mention because I don't have any claim to data right now. I'm still trying to get into it, even though I've worked on some data analytics projects. Now, there's a difference in data analysis and data analytics. These guys will clarify it today because even sometimes I get it confused, but you know. And then we have Victoria. Victoria is a data scientist. She's currently studying at Tech, but you know, imagine someone studying, is it maths? She's studying mathematics and I think statistics. I mean, you've got to be really good to be doing that. So she's part of Code Africa community, Pi Ladies and Data Science Nigeria. So again, we're in good hands, people that are practicing what they teach, what they're doing right now. A lot of these facilitators are still learning. They're still learning. That means they have relevant industry expertise. So it's not like an old school like myself. So does anyone have any question? Any question? Whilst we get, Faith, are you the one presenting? Let me share the screen, make you co-host so you can get your slides ready. So does anyone have any questions so far? So far, so good. Is it still like thumbs up? Any question? Are you still wondering, am I in the right room? What did I get myself into? Okay, Jamila's excited to learn more. Debbie Spice is like, love it. Any question? Are you still happy to be here? I need to see your excitement. It looks like I'm the only one that is happy. Louise Atinka says, thank you, Timmy. Okay, right. So I'm going to, so I've talked to you about female tech. I've introduced a little bit about myself, what I do. I've introduced the facilitators. And now the next item on the agenda is for them to share, to move on to the front end. No, we're doing UI UX. So Faith, when you're ready, share your screen so we can go through the product design part of things. So if you have not joined Telegram, please do so. If you have not set up your profile on Forum, please do so. Make sure you sign in there, and we're going to be uploading questions, assignments there. And when you have done your assignment, you're going to upload it back into that forum and just drop a message on Telegram that is done so that the instructors can pick it up. Okay, Chizon, what's your question? Thought this was.
I thought this was data analysis. Now there's a difference between data analysis and data analytics.
Wait for them to, when they run through the session this afternoon, it's still the same. because you have to analyze the data, which is the analysis part of it. So analytics is when you, hang on, John, do you want to answer that question? Or are you a day? I don't want to confuse anybody.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, John.
Yeah, both of them deal with analyzing of data. Data analysis deals with analyzing of present data, that is raw data, while analytics deal with featured data. So both of them still analyze the same data, that they still fall under the same category of a data analyst, general meaning of it. So there should not be confusion about data analysis and the data analyst. So it's the same.
Did that answer your question, Chisholm?
Yes, okay.
Okay, don't start being confused now. We haven't even shown you anything yet. Just stay with the program. Don't worry. We'll break it down. You get it at the end of it. So there's no way you can, we'll keep it simple, like what is even data? Things like what you have on your phone, they're data. Your shopping list, things that you write down on paper is data. So we'll break it down that you understand what data is. Okay? If anyone else have any question, please drop it in the chat box and I will pick it up from there. So are you ready? So for everyone, this is product design, and we're just gonna do an introduction so you know what product design is. If this is not what you signed up for, don't worry. This is to give you an overview of all the other work stream. Like I said, none of this work in isolation. For every single organization, Barclays, GT Bank, you have a website. So you have a front end. And before you have that front end, somebody designed what you're seeing on that web page, right? So this is the job of the designer. They will design, they will specify what you see on the website. And then when you now get to the designing, the front end people will develop it. And then we now have data. So as you're registering to use a bank service, you're giving them your date of birth, you're giving them your name, you're giving them your ID, they're storing it somewhere. So when they're sending you information about new sales coming up, they've actually analyzed those data to see that, oh, this person has children. So if they're doing back to school, they will target their marketing to you. So you need to understand the whole journey. Are you with me? Yeah, yes, yes. Okay, so Faith, shoots.
All right, thank you, Ma. Hello, everyone. My name is Faith Bolaji Blessing, and I'm a designer. And together with my colleagues, we'll be taking you through the UI UX stream in this second cohort of the Female Techpreneur virtual bootcamp. So my job here is to quickly run through what to expect from this course, as it were. So it's the UI UX, or what others call product design. And so the course overview, basically I'll start from the definition and just try to give a few examples of what UI and UX is. So over time, the way products have been built, whether digital or physical, has improved over time. And it's the job of certain persons who have taken time to study human behavior with respect to products. And that is a bit of what we'll be capturing in the UI UX stream. So when it comes to user experience, it's more about the total experience of a user, or the total experience a user gains from using a product, whether digital or physical. So take your probably Facebook, for example, or your WhatsApp, or whatever other kind of app that you use, for example. Every bit of detail that even probably doesn't matter to you goes into the account of certain kinds of persons, certain kinds of professionals who analyze this data to be able to make the product better, or to be able to even make another product which is superior to what you currently have. So that is the job of user experience, and from basically the word user experience. So the experience a user gains from using a product, basically. So these are a bit of the things that we'll be talking about in this stream. So the UI and the UX go hand in hand. So the UI basically deals with the interface. So as it's called, user interface deals with what you see on the front end, on your screens or on your laptop screens, as it were. Those the things you can relate with, your buttons, your navigation bar, those little bit. Even when it comes to physical products as well. So all those things. Take if let's say probably a new brand of probably wafers or biscuit or something, for instance. There's a way that it has to be made, probably the packaging, it has to be made for people to be able to relate to it well. There are things like color, there are things like uh how do I put it now? So there's a lot that goes into the aesthetics of the product as well, that makes it appeal to users, and that is why they patronize such products. So all of those things go into account, and user interface designers, when it comes to digital products, deal with that. So when you're using your application, you see that it's built in a certain way, or it's designed in a certain way, and they've made it sometimes even way easier so that you can use it. Um, take Gmail. I like to use Gmail as an example. Most times, when I first started using Gmail, there were lots of limitations I encountered when I started using Gmail. But over time, when they began to make the interface simpler and more relatable, so it made the user experience better, and that is where the interconnectivity between user experience and user interface comes in. So your user interface is as good as useless if the user experience, the final user experience, is bad. So it doesn't matter how beautiful the product is, it doesn't matter how fantastic it looks from the outside. If the experience that the user gains from it is poor, then that product is definitely not going to do well on the market. Those are some of the things that we're going to talk about. So I'll run through an overview of what we're to expect in this course for this cohort. This quote from Martin LeBlanc says, a user interface is like a joke if you have to explain it. So think of a joke. If somebody tells you a joke and you don't get it the first try, the second try, the third try, that means it's a bad joke, because the essence of a joke is once a person tells it, you're supposed to be able to relate with it and have a good laugh. The same thing is what comes to mind when you talk about user interface. If me using a digital product, for instance, somebody else has to explain to me how to use it. Somebody has to sit me down to tell me this is what you press. This is how you navigate this application or this software. Then that means that application or that program or that software has a bad user interface, because it is not meant to be explained. When it comes to good user interfaces, good user interface design, it has to be so simple and yet so beautiful that people can easily relate with it and be able to use such a product without having to meet anybody to explain. Think of our mobile phones, for instance. I remember when my probably my mom or my dad first got a mobile phone. I remember the pack of manuals that came with the phones. It was so huge, and it was as though you're studying for an exam, maybe GMAT or something, because you have to just go through the manual to be able to understand what the phone could do. But now think of the most advanced kind of phone that you can think about. It doesn't come with such accessory anymore, because it is expected that once you pick up the phone, you're able to navigate your way around so easily without stress. You don't need to give yourself an headache having to be able to use that kind of device, because they've been able to simplify the navigation of the user navigation through that device. So some of these things are what we'll be covering in the UI UX stream. So what to expect? We'll be talking about the fundamentals of UX, where we'll be talking about what UX means, the places where you get to see UX designers and things like that. We talk about the principles of design. There are things that are, even though very minute, or you can say they are inconsequential probably to a layman, but it is very important when it comes to design. Things like your use of color psychology. We talk about visual balance, scale. We talk about harmony. We talk about so many things. The movement. You talk about proportion, negative space and things like that, how they relate to design and how they help that to make your design beautiful when it comes to, the interface as well. We talk about element of designs, as basic as line is, it is very important when it comes to design, and being able to properly use lines can go a long way in making your design, fantastic. Then we'll come to design thinking. There's a way that you think as a designer. In fact, this is not just for designers. When it comes to building a product generally, there's a way in which you think. Many other persons might not, do that because it's not their thing. But if you think about it even critically, um, in our everyday life, in things that we do when you want to set your hands on something, there's a process to which there's a process you go through to be able to make that thing happen. So these things go into design thinking, and we'll be talking about some of these things as we go on. Also, we'll be talking about user research, which is more related to UX designer, which is more related to user experience design. So when building a product, there's a way to go about it. There are means by which we're able to gather data to be able to analyze and build an effective and wonderful product. So this we put under user research. So you are able to, or you go through a process by which you get the ideas from users about what their expectation of an ideal product should be, and then you put that to test, and then you, whatever the result of that test is, then you can then take it and then build your product, as it were. So some of these things are going to be taught as well. I think we have about two kinds of user research. That is the generative and the evaluative uh, um, uh, uh, um, types of user research, and we're going to be talking about them. We're also going to be talking about the application of this user research, how we're able to make use of um, data we've gotten from user research also, and how we go about user research. So we're going to talk about this, and then we'll come to the aspect of the design itself when it comes to the interface. So everything I've basically talked about from the start is more related to the user experience, and then we'll come to the user interface design, where we treat or we go into details about how we're able to design low fidelity wireframes and high fidelity wireframes. So I was saying initially that when you get a hold of a product, the way you're able to navigate your way through that digital product, probably take your WhatsApp, for example, or your Facebook, or any other application, as it were. There's a way that you go through and you navigate your way around that product. There are certain persons that have designed those things, those frames that you see. So you switch from one page to another. All of those things have been pre-designed before the developers or the software engineers went on to then build that product using codes. So these are some of the things that we're going to do when we get to the aspect of low fidelity and high fidelity wireframe designs. So we're going to be able to do this on our own, basically in the class, and you see how that it is easy. Some of these things are not as difficult as they've made it seem over the years. Before I got into, product design or UI UX, I usually thought it was something difficult, and I kind of shied away from it for a long time. So I basically just stuck with graphic design. But when eventually I had to find myself doing something like that, and then I found out how easy and simple it was, and then I was like beating myself, thinking how that I missed the opportunity for a couple of years. Probably, maybe I would have been in Silicon Valley now. I don't know. Anyways, going on, we'll be talking about prototyping. So I talked about the interaction that we get when we're using some of these products, how they how you transition from one page to another, how a button links to another page, how your navigation bar, you're able to press it, you see drop down menus, you see all of this cool stuff happening on your screen. All of those things we're going to be dealing with them under prototyping and interaction. And then we're going to have assignments and projects to keep us busy, because the end goal of the bootcamp is not just to bore us and just to load us with theories and no practical. John, so we going to have a lot of assignments and projects that we're going to lay our hands on, which we form to a large extent the foundation of our portfolio, which is the last thing on this. What to expect is going to form the foundation of our portfolio. We expect that by the end of the bootcamp, from the assignments and projects that we have done, would have been able to build a cool portfolio of projects, simple projects that can make the skill that we've now gained marketable, because the end goal is not just to learn this and just store it somewhere else, but is to be able to put it to use. So these assignments that we're going to be having, don't be scared about them. It's just, there are things that we're going to work through together, and then you're going to be able to do, and then you see for yourself how simple these things are and how simple they can be. Then what next? Also expect interpersonal collaboration. One of the things that keep the tech community going is collaboration. Basically, you can't, no man is an island of knowledge, and then you have to collaborate with people to be able to get ahead. So you can't stay aloof or stand aside and expect that you'll be able to get so much done. In fact, the way the tech community works, there's an connectivity between product designers, software engineers or product engineers. There is a product manager, there's the engineers, there's the product designers, and everybody works together as a team to be able to get. And then you have probably the content writers, you have the copywriters and things like that. Everybody works together as a team, and to be able to get a very cool product out there. So all of these products that you've seen over time, these are the works of fantastic teams who've been able to work together, set aside differences and things like that, and be able to work together effectively. So expect that you'll be working in groups and collaborating with persons in your stream. And I don't know if it's possible to collaborate with people from other streams. Well, if such an avenue comes up, maybe we create something in the UI UX stream, and we pass it over to those in the front end development team, and to translate it into beautiful designs and stuff like that. We would have that. And then there's the opportunity for mentorship. Basically, we are a team of approachable persons. We're not just we're not dictators who just come to just tell you what to do and blah 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 and then we leave. It's not the typical higher institution or something else. So the goal of this is to be able to unwind and be able to express yourself. So we're a team of persons who you can easily approach. The forum, as Mrs. Bajidi has said, is available to every one of us to be able to ask your questions, drop comments, and then respond to assignments, projects, and queries that come from there. So the forum is there, and the Telegram group is there as well. So we're approachable. You can ask us, buzz us anytime and ask questions if you encounter any difficulty or you just want to ask anything, probably while practicing or studying about something that you've learned in class. You encounter something new and you'd like to ask how it relates to what we're learning. You have that. And finally, you're going to have lots of fun. It's not a boring place. So it's going to be lots of fun. We're going to collaborate and share ideas, because no man is an island of knowledge. Probably as I'm teaching or as my other colleagues are teaching, we also learn it. So it's going to be a wonderful experience. And I guarantee you that at the end of the boot camp, you're going to have a wonderful time. And then it's going to be, I don't know the adjective to use now, but you're going to have fun and it's going to be wonderful. So thank you very much for listening, and hand over to Mrs. Babajide to continue. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Faith. Thank you. That was amazing. Does anyone have any question about UI UX product design? As you've heard, I just want to add a little bit to what Faith have shared. So prepare your question. If there's anything you don't understand, please ask away. So he's telling us about design. Okay, if we look at these websites that I'm sharing, okay, Abby raised her hand. Okay, Abby, give me a second. So this is nationwide. What are the colors that you can see? They're brand colors. You can see blue and sharp red. This is Barclays. What are the colors you can see? Another shade of blue. Okay, so when we're talking about product design, it defines not just the color, the look and feel. If you look at this picture here about personal banking, can you see this person jumping? It's showing a happy person trying to leap onto a boat that somebody is already, you know, rowing the boat. So they're trying to pass a message. This is about user experience. How do you connect to a brand? Okay. The same shade of blue is used in a different way. If you look at what these guys are pushing out now, can you see the happy face of somebody? So they have a prize, they have maybe like a lead or an event going on. So all these things, a product designer sat down, thought about it, and created this product. I'm just using an example of a website, for instance. This could be a mobile phone, it can be anything. So somebody sketched all these links that you're seeing, current account, mortgages. If you did not design it, there's no way anybody can build it. So the job of a product designer is critical to any design. Back in the days where this product design doesn't exist, what people were doing, developers would just code. They just draw something, they just build. They don't really care about the aesthetics or the look of, whether it's connecting to a brand. And branding is about emotion. It's not about colors alone. It's about how you reach your audience. So these ones now have happy people of eating cake and whatnot. So we have to think beyond, what is product design? If you want people to buy your product, if you have an idea right now, so what are your brand colors? Who do you want to connect with? Who are your target audience? So Faith has told us about the research, that you're going to do something called user research. So you do a research to find out, does anyone actually need this product? Okay, who are the people I'm selling to? I hope I'm communicating. So it's very, very, very interesting part of tech that typically all you need to bring to the table is your creativity. The way that you sync colors, the way that you apply words, the text. So everything you're seeing on this website is a result of a product designer specifying what it should look like. So thank you very much, Faith. Please help me say thank you to Faith. That was really good, nice summary. And like you said, we're gonna have fun. It's it's not anything difficult. As it's doing it's showing you live and you're doing your own. The end game is for you to have a portfolio at the end of it. There is no point if you have nothing to show. So be ready to start, as it's starting your year, draw this, do your own. So you're building a portfolio week on week. That way, when you finish, you can show a company, a recruiter, that look at what I've done because you did it. Okay? So thank you everybody for thanking Faith for me. So that is product design. If you have any ideas, start thinking, okay, I want to design something, bring it to the table. This is your chance to do your design. So Abby, you have a question. Please ask away.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. It's not actually really a question, rather is a comment. Just to say thank you, Faith, for demystifying the term UX, UI. Initially, I thought it was a coding term. I didn't know it was as simple as that. Initially seeing the UX, UI, it threw me actually. So now you breaking it down and talking about it is like, oh, this is really good. I'm actually much interested in attending the class, even though I signed up for the data analytics course. So I think my question would be, is it possible for the courses not to be held at the same time, so that at least people can sign up to 2 courses, because I think I like what you've explained about UI UX as a next course, but the first priority is for me on the data because of what I do currently.
Okay, thanks, Abby. Thanks for that feedback. And I think that was why it was important for us to kind of share this so everybody understands how their work is actually dependent on, you know, Faith was saying that, okay, perhaps in the US UI design team, we design something and we pass it to the front end people to build. That is the interaction. That is how it works in the project life cycle. Okay, so it was important for us to showcase that. And I hear you about, can you do 2 at the same time? It is intense. You know, it's, you don't want to jump inside water and you start shouting it's cold. That's the Yoruba proverb that I just translated. Sorry if you're not Yoruba. You don't want to jump inside water and say, oh, this water is cold. Do you get me? It is intense. You're going to be doing assignments. So if you now want to combine product design with data, at any point in time, I think it will be too much. My recommendation is not, I'm not saying it's not possible, but my recommendation is to take one work stream at a time. People have been asking, oh, I want to do the 3. Okay, the first cohort that we did, I was in every single class. Use me as a use case, a case study. So I will start with the front end. When I'll start with the product design. When the front end starts, I'm there. When the data, after a while, my head, 3 lessons in a day. You have to pick. And you don't want to put yourself in that situation because you've got other commitments as well. So what is what doing well? What is what doing at all is what doing well. If you do product design, focus on that, master it. Then next one, I understand that it's good to have broad knowledge of everything. If that is what you want to achieve, remember what they say about jack of all trades, you have to still niche down. If it's just, okay, I want to know how all these things work, then you can. That way you're not under any intense pressure to probably go out there as a product designer. But if it's your desire to become a product designer and, you know, earn an income from there and get yourself into Silicon Valley, like Faith wants to be, then you have to stay on that lane. I'm sorry, but that's what it is. Until you've mastered it, for me, I've walked through a life cycle of a project in my career. So I've been a tester, I've been a BA, I've been a project manager, I've been a Scrum Master. I'll actually develop website as well. But it will get to a point that you need to pick. It just helps you to understand the whole life cycle. If that is what you want to do, Abby, then yes, you can. But if you want to niche down, like, okay, I want to be a data analytics person or whatever, then you have to pick. I hope I've answered your question correctly.
Thank you very much. You did actually. I'm not actually sure I wanted to be a data analyst or product designer. It's just for the knowledge in my area of work. Okay, so that means you can. If somebody is looking to specialize, then that's different. But if you just want to have a knowledge about how it works, then that's absolutely brilliant. Because for me, because I've been through this lifestyle, it helps me. When I'm talking to a developer, I know what I'm saying. When I'm talking to a product design, I know what to expect. Even if my role is now a project manager, do you get, Abby? I know what to expect. If they're even scoping and estimating your work, I know how long it should take. Exactly. I think so. I'm expecting X, Y, and Z. So for that senior role, it's good to have knowledge of everything because, of course, I know you're a program manager and you deal with all these people that does all these activities. So it would be good to at least know. So when they're using their lingo, like, okay, we want to do wireframe, prototyping, this, you're telling them, okay, I can have a conversation about that. Okay, any more questions? Favor, are you ready to talk to us about front-end development? I've given you the right to share. So after this, then we'll do the data analytics side of things. So pretty much front end is us now designing what the product design have sketched for us. So
Favor is sharing his screen and he'll be telling us, oh, Debbie Spice, go on. Whilst you're waiting for Favor's screen to load, you have a question?
Yes, I have a question. My question is, what's the role of a copywriter in the UX UI scheme of things? Because I heard him mention that.
So a copywriter is Temi here. I have a copywriter on the call. They write the content. Okay. It's good for a product designer to have an element of copywriting experience because, you know, when you are doing your design, you fill it up with content. Content is images, word, text, and all of those stuff. So imagine you've already had a brief from your clients. They've told you, I want you to build me a female tech website. I want you to talk to people that are looking to get into technology. So if you want to design that, you're not going to go and put, and my target audience are female. You will not go and draw that and put a female or male pictures there. Not that you cannot, but I've been clear about my brief. People gravitate towards who they see, right? Who they like and what they think represents what they want. So in terms of the wordings, the content, it will now be the copywriter, and it's a specialist skill as well. You have to learn it because there are ways they position words that it will just jump at you. You know, there's a way that if they're selling a product, it doesn't sound like sales. So that is what copywriting is. You do the research and you present the words in a way that, you know, the user will connect with it. So it's recommended that anyone that wants to do product design should know how to do that as well. But it's not, I don't think it's a mandatory, but it's a skill that people get paid for by themselves. Faith, do you want to add anything or did I summarize it? Yeah, it's not patronizing, thank you. So there are ways that they write it. Temitope is here, and when she writes something, it's different from the way I would just write it, boom. You know, they have a way of, with words, basically. Faith, you wanted to add to it?
Yeah, I said you summarized it well, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Favor, we're ready when you are. Favor, we can't hear you if you're speaking. We still can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Not anymore. You're gone. Is Marufat here? Is she able to speak? Marufat? Favor, we can't hear you. So maybe you need to log out and log back in because I can see that you're talking. Okay. It looks like he's having difficulty connecting his system. So, John, are you ready, John?
Yes, ma'am. I'm ready, ma'am.
Okay, so I'll give you the right to share your screen and you can start with data analytics for us.
Okay. Okay.
So in the meantime, we're moving on to data. So we're going to get Crash while Favor sort out its system in the meantime. So from next week, we'll now not be together. Everybody will be in their individual sessions. going forward, because then that will be really, really specific. So for product design, we're doing that 12 p.m. Front end, 12 p.m. Data, 2 p.m. That way, there's not too much pressure. So that is how we're going from next week. This is the next time we'll all be together will be week 8, when we are leaving the program. And what we'd expect then is for some people within each work stream to present their work, to just showcase what they've done, because then, you know, you can be proud of yourself that look how far I've come from week 1 to week 8. I have actually achieved this. So okay. Somebody is changing to product design. Yes, I think so, actually. And being that you're starting a new philanthropist for like, being that you're starting a new business, you can start to think of how you want to design it, how you want the whole thing to be set up, you know, have your inputs, even if you're not the one that would eventually create the websites and branding assets, etc. So that might actually work. Yes. Louise, what did Louise sign up for? You are running away. You've not even seen front end first. John, how far? Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready, but you disabled me from sharing my screen.
Oh, did I?
Yes.
I didn't. Oh, sorry.
Is it?
Okay, I've made you co-host now.
Okay.
I've made you co-host, so you should be able to.
I can share now.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's see, before you start changing gear, see everything first. I agree with Fonake, but everyone else, see everything else before you make up your mind.
Okay.
Yes, we can see your screen now.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. My name is John, as once introduced by Mrs. Buki Babajide. I'll be the facilitator for data analytics with my co-facilitator, Victoria. It's good to have every one of you here. Data analytics or data science, as it may call, is not something you will shy away from. Like I do tell people, women in tech, industry give preference to women in tech than guys in tech. And I've seen a lot of companies and a lot of industry that do that. So having or coming or being in the track of data science or data analytics is very, very, very good. And I don't want anybody to be shy away from it. Though it entails coding, but there are non-coding parts of it, which is very sweet. And as I walk you down through the presentation, you will see how everything becomes. So the first slide is just an introduction to data analytics. And we come to here. They say, what does data mean? What does data mean? All of us, we gather data day by day. We have data on our phone, contacts on our phone.
John, your microphone is breaking.
Okay, can you hear me, man?
Oh, that's better.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, we have data. All of us use Android phone, use one gadget, one thing or the other. Our facial recognition, our voice, these are data that have been gathered over years. The social media is another place where data are being gathered. Social media like Twitter, any other social media you consider, data have been gathered there for some purposes, and some companies and industry require for it to analyze it for decision making. Like what we see, they say is for factual information used as a basis for what? Reasoning, discussion, calculation, publishing, or decision making. You gather that over time, you can use it for publishing, for calculation, for discussion, or for decision making, as it may be. But these data gathered over time, are they all structured data or unstructured data? We don't know. Some of them are structured. When you gather a data or it says inventory in a in a bookshop or probably in a supermarket. These are data that gather sales, daily sales, annual sales, weekly sales. These are data that have been gathered over a period of time. Are this data structure or our own structure? Basically, I will say data gathered over the internet are unstructured data. Because one, they gather it randomly. I come to the social media, I put what I do, other people come, they do the same thing, likewise. But a sales data or an inventory data, these are structured data. When you go to the counter, they take the personal information or everything you gather or everything you buy at that period of time and gather it and store it probably in an Excel file, in an SQL or a SQL or any other database the industry use at that moment. And we can see here, under here, we see forms of data. Sorry, we can see forms of data, which are a text, your voice note, and other things. Then we see source of raw data. We have survey data. Social media is another way of gathering what? Raw data. Sales of other things is another way of gathering data also. And we move on to the other part of it, which is what is data analytics? Data analysis. And we can see data analysis is a process of inspecting, cleansing, and modeling data with a goal of discovering useful information, useful information, informing conclusion, and supporting decision making. Like one of our colleagues who asked question the other time, she asked, what is the difference between data analysis and a data analytics? Data analytics is a broad of field of using data and tools to make business decision. Like I said earlier on, I said data analysis deals with the continuous cleansing of data. As the data comes, you cleanse it, you interpret it, you predict it, and you make decision with it. But the data analysis, these are people that sit. They have already made data. These are secondary data. These are not raw data any longer. They sit with it and make use of it to make a business decision. They analyze the data for the business, and their own is just to analyze and go. But the data analysis, they do a continuous processing of inspecting the data, cleansing, modeling the data with the goal of discovering useful information from the data as time may be. And we go to types of data analytics. We have the method based on mathematical and statistical approach. Then we have the other.
The one that's complicated, artificial learning and machine learning. We have
Hello?
like SQL.
And we have the other one, which is method based on artificial intelligence and machine learning. These are all types of data analysis techniques that the world entails and everything we can see in the world. Method based on mathematical and statistical approach. These are done or these with using statistical tools, mathematical calculation, using calculus and linear algebra, like the AI and the other rest to make decision or process of inspecting or making a supporting decision accurate. We predict, we make decision, we finalize, and to do a lot of things. The method based on artificial intelligence and machine learning. Definitely, when you talk about artificial intelligence or machine learning, AI, we have about the chatbots, robotics, and the rest. When we communicate online, when we speak online, our voice are being recorded. But through the help of AI, which is one of the branches of data analysis, the machine can detect the voice of that person while running some modeling or simulation or algorithm on it to detect the voice of the person that this is the person that is actually the owner of this voice. So we move on to other aspects of it, which is what? Which is being subdivided into two. We have the quantitative data analytics method, which is subdivided into descriptive analysis and inferential analysis. We can see that under the descriptive analysis, we have the mean, we have the median, we have the mode, we have the percentage, we have the frequency and the range. We have the inferential analysis, we have the correlation, regression, and analysis of variance. These are all under what? Data analytics method, which are under what? Quantitative analysis. which are data that are being gathered. These are the tools. If I want to analyze a data under quantitative data analysis, I have to look for the mean, I have to look for the median, I have to look for the mode, the percentage, the frequency, and the range also to know that, okay, these data I gathered over time, what is the mean, what is the mode, what is the percentage, what is the frequency, what is the range. From these items, I can now predict and make my decision that, okay, data got data over time.
Your
The
voice is
mean,
breaking, John.
the mean. Okay, sorry, I come again. I
Okay,
said,
it's clearer
can you
now.
hear me on?
Stay like that for now. Don't move.
Okay. Okay, ma. Okay, ma. Like I said, the quantitative data analysis method, we have two subcategory under it, which is the descriptive analysis and the inferential analysis. Under descriptive analysis, you see that this is the first level of analysis. These help researchers find absolute number of summarized individual variables and find patterns. For a few examples, a mean, which is what a numerical average, a median, a mode, a percentage, frequency, and range. If I want to find a mean of the population of people living in the geographical area, I have to gather the data, calculate the overall data, and divide it by the total number of people living at that population, which is the population mean. And also, I can also do the median, which is gathering all the data and looking at the interval of them and find the highest number of people living in the particular communities or other thing. The percentage as a ratio or fraction of 100. Then we have the frequency, the number of occurrence. I might go to a clinic and I say, okay, from the age between 5 to 6, 7 to 8, 9 to 10, 11 to 10, I want to do the number of children that are being born at this range. Then at this frequency, I may get the number of children that are being born at the age of, let me say probably, if I walk up to a clinic and I say from 10 to 11, then from 10 o'clock to 11 a.m., I want to know the number of babies that are being born at this particular time. Then from 11 to 12, the number of babies that are being born at this particular time. When I gather my data, probably from 10 to 11, as the number of frequency of babies that are being delivered at that particular time, I take it as my what? As the number, total number of what? My frequency, which is the number of occurrence at that range of number. Then I have the range. Then the range is the highest minus the lowest. I have a series of number from 100 to 50. And I say, okay, the highest is 100. Then the lowest is what? 50. Then I take my normal and I get my range from there. Then we have the inferential analysis. With this, with what? Correlation. Correlation describes the relationship between two people. Okay, I'm a woman. The other person is also a woman. What is the correlation between us? What is the relationship that we have between both of us? I have hand, he also have hand. He has leg, he also has a leg. We both share the same characteristics. He also shares the same characteristics. That is what correlation simply means. Relationship between two things. I can say X and Y variables. What is the relationship between X and Y? Are they independent of each other or dependent of each other? So correlation simply means relationship between two data to analyze, two variables to analyze a statistical analysis. Then we have regression. Regression show or predict relationship between two variables. Regression analysis is one of the tools used in the field of machine learning or data analytics for predicting data. We also have analysis of variance, test the extent to which two or more groups differ. This is used to know whether two variables differ from each other, coming down to the analysis of variance. Then we go to qualitative analysis. Qualitative data analysis method. This deals with data tools, data familiarization, initial coding stage, second coding stage, third coding stage, and we have the C, which is the presentation of findings. Looking down through the drop down there, we have data tools, we have analysis areas, we have coding, we have sorting, and we have teaming. As a data person, you have to be good with, let me say, probably dashboard visualization, which is one of the old tools in industry nowadays, because a lot of organizations believe that as a data person or as a data analyst person, you must be good visualizing data, because visualization deals with a lot of storytelling. They are not interested in your data. They are just interested in the visualization. They are interested in the story you want to tell them. That is what most organizations are after. And this quantitative data analysis tells us about every other thing that entails data. This with teaming, presentation of finding, describe your participant profiles, describe your coding method, present teams in table, explain the relationship between the teams, explain the meaning of all these. It helps us to really take into consideration on how far data is being. And we go to quantitative data collection. These are the mode of data collection under quantitative. You have face-to-face, online, mail, phone. Data are being gathered over this using quantitative data collection tools. We gather data over the phone, we gather data over the mail, over online, and face-to-face. Face-to-face can be normal one-on-one interview, a survey, or any other thing, open-ended question or closed-ended question. Then we go to qualitative data collection tools. These deal with online forums, in-depth interviews, groups, web survey chat, online communities. Web survey chat probably may be a chat gathered over time, like your WhatsApp chat, your Telegram chat, your mail, every other social media things that involve chatbots or anything. A client or an organization might decide to gather a chat over time that, okay, we want to know the number of customers that have actually accessed the chat line. Then they go there, gather the data and analyze it to know whether they are making progress, or probably customers are actually using the chatbots or the web chat to make findings or inquiries. Then we move to data science. Data science is just like a mother of every other thing. It's a broad, it's a channel, it's everything that data analytics can ever think of. Data analysis and data analysis is just like a subset of data science. It's an interdisciplinary field that uses scientific method, process, algorithm, and system to extract knowledge and insight from structured and unstructured data, and apply knowledge and actionable insight from data across a broad range of application domain. It is an interdisciplinary field. It entails AI, deep learning, neural network, machine learning, and a lot of things that you can actually get. Data science in generally is like a mother of every other data groups. Then we have data science process. We have from the raw data collected in the reality of world, we process it to what? It's been processed, then we clean it. Then EDA comes in, exploratory data analysis. Then we come to modeling or algorithm. Then we come back to what? What are the data products? Then communicate the visualization or report to the people. These are data science processes that when you are going in full as a data scientist, you must go through the data science process. Then we come to why data science. Is it because it's the 21st century things or the hot cake in the market? Are we going in it because we want to solve problem or demand or supply? Is it a lucrative career that people might say? Is data science changing the world, or is data science the future of the world? All these things are questions we should ask ourselves. Yes, it's a lucrative work now. Data science is changing the world. Data science is the future of the world. Problem of demand and supply are everywhere. Where is this 21st century? Good and fine, these are the questions. But let's take a look at the world generally. Agriculture, the government's parastatal, health, anywhere, transport, logistic, or anywhere, or any parastatal you might think of, data is needed. They collected data over time. And when they collect this data over time, they need somebody to analyze it. They need somebody to make a decision for them. They need somebody to predict it, to know that whether the companies or the parastatal are actually making a gain or a lose. A supermarket needs a data analytics to come in to predict his sales for him, to predict or to forecast his sales for him, for the organization. A health industry also needs a data analysis to know the mortality rate of that hospital or that healthcare. A lot of things. Agriculture needs it to know maybe product produced are doing fine, or probably to know that, okay, I plant these numbers of grains or product this year, and quite number of time I plant this thing. Data collected over time, I analyze it, I predicted it. Am I going to make a say? If I forecast it, will I still achieve what I planted the previous year, this year? These are being done in every parastatal. So data analytics or data science is being found in every field as it may be in every parastatal. There's no parastatal that doesn't need data science. Even the law, they need it because you can use this to predict criminal case or criminal cases that are being judged over time or data that have been collected over time to predict a criminal case of a particular community or a country. These are where data science is applied to every area. Then we come to what are the data science tools. We have data store. Data store is just like a data administration or a database that store data. And the tools used are MongoDB. You have PGD admin. We have MySQL. Then we have under transformation. Transformation is just like purifying it or cleaning the data. Because when you gather the data over time, some of them may be structured and some of them may be unstructured. So transforming it, you come to what? Either using Python as a programming language, you come to what? Using SQL, Excel is there, Power BI is there, Spark is there. Then when you come to modeling, I've gathered this data, I've transformed it. How will I model it? What algorithm will I use to model this data? What are the libraries will I use to model this data to predict that yes, this data come out? I use my scale learning, I use my pandas, I use my NumPy, I use my Spark to predict or to model this that I will predict that, okay, for me to predict it, I predict it and this is my decision at the end of the decision. Then when it comes to visualization, okay, I come to Gplot, I come to DB, I come to Power BI, I come to Tableau, I come to a lot of Excel, and I say, okay, these are the tools I will use to visualize my data. I collected this data, they gave me this data to predict, but I can't just give them the raw data they gave me, or I can't just give them the model or the predicted value I have predicted. This company actually need the visualization of this. Then I come up with the visualization that, okay, I predict this, and this is the visualization over time. I forecast this over time, and this is the visualization. Then what are the other tools we can use? You have Fluguide, you have Kafka, you have other things, which enough tools online, but these are the recent, and these are the most top tools used by data scientists for data analysis. Then what are the data science programming tools? Definitely, anything that has to do with prediction, modeling, or algorithm will come with programming language. We have R, which is one of the tools for data analytics. You have Julia, which is one of the programming language. We have Python, which we all know. Python is considered as the fastest programming tools for data science. We have C#, C++, we have JavaScript, we have Scala. These are all programming tools for data science. But out of all these, Python has the edge out of all of them because they're considered as the fastest, scalable to analyze data science. Then we come to data science as a whole. Looking at this picture or looking at this infograph, data science as a whole, we have artificial intelligence, ability to sense, reason, engage, and learn. This is AI. AI is a robot or probably a machine built to reason or to sense the way we human beings sense. And I believe in most top organizations now, robots are being used as one of their staffs per se, like the UPS, most top clinical companies, they use robots for operation to carry out a lot of things, to carry out a lot of domestic work. These are artificial intelligence, AI. If you come to machine learning, ability to learn. Then under we have supervised learning, unsupervised learning, reinforcement learning. Then we come to method, ability to reason. We have regression, decision under machine learning. Then we come to technologies, physical investment, which is what deep learning, neural network. Deep learning and neural network. These helps to trace or to detect or to predict traffic congestion in a community. Or then we move to what is AI? What is artificial intelligence? A way of making a robot or software think and act like a woman. AI is very good, and AI is taking over the world. There's advance in technology, as people may say. Definitely there's advance in technology because of AI and robots. We see automation of a car. We have a car now which can drive itself, Tesla and co. You have a computer game, you play with computer, you play a game with computer. You play again and they say, why are you playing with? You say you are playing with computer. These are AI. A car who can self-drive itself. You go on a website and you want to lay a complaint. The next thing that pops is a chatbot beside you. Hello. and you type in, this is my complaint, and the chatbot reply, these are AI, and they're making the world a better place. Then we have features of AI. We have deep learning, facial recognition, data injection, automate tasks, quantum computing, cloud computing, and chatbots. Facial recognition, I will say, is the process of a machine to recognize you facially. You work in a top organization, it takes your facial recognition before you can get access to the place. Deep learning, this is what the way you reason, the way the computer reason, just like the way the human reason. Automated tasks, a car or a lamp that is being pop up without not triggering or not being on by a man or manually. If you have cloud computing simply means storing your data over time. You predict, you do everything, and you store it over the cloud over time to save. You have chatbots, which is being explained. Quantum computing, large numbers of data that are being computed over the internet using some tools or some frameworks. Then we come to what are the types of AI? You have artificial intelligence, machine learning, which I've explained earlier on, and you have a science devoted to making machine think and to act like humans. We have machine learning focuses on enabling computers to perform tasks without explicit programming. We have deep learning, a subset of machine learning based on artificial neural network. These are all types of AI, artificial intelligence, which still fall under data science in general. Like I say, data science is the mother of all this. Then we have machine learning. Machine learning is a method of data analysis that automated analytical model building. It's a branch of artificial intelligence, as people may say yes, because anything that involves machine learning involves AI also. It based with a system of learning from data, identifying patterns, and make decisions with minimal human intervention. Anything that has to do with machine learning, human intervention is very minimal in it, like the robots, the self-driving cars, and the other thing. These are done with human minimal intervention. Then under machine learning, we have supervised learning, unsupervised learning, reinforcement. Task-driven, predict value. These are supervised learning. You predict a sales over time. You forecast a things over time. These are supervised learning. I predict the sale of this over time. I may forecast the budget of Nigeria or any budget for over the years. Okay, these are the budget. This is where or this is how the budget will go in the next 2 or 3 years. I may forecast that okay, in the next 3 or 5 years, agriculture will tend to climb the stage of this. These are supervised learning. Unsupervised learning are data-driven, identify clusters in a place. When I mean cluster, probably you are predicting let me say you are predicting a species of animals over here, and when you predict it, dogs. Let me say when you're predicting the species of animal over time, we have species of dog. We have the bulldog, we have the Rottweiler, and the rest. We have been gathered in a normal container or in a room, and unsupervised learning simply means you predict it in such a way that they cluster everyone out of themselves. The bulldogs go to where they are, the Rottweiler go to where they are, and this comes to it. Clustering means separating them from each one another for easy analysis. Then we have reinforcement. Yes, ma'am.
You have 2 more minutes.
Then we have reinforcement, learning from mistake.
So we need to be quicker so that you can tell them about the data skill sets and things.
Okay, ma. Then we have reinforcement, learning from mistakes of human. Then we have this, which is type of machine learning, top machine learning algorithms. Then we have the supervised, unsupervised, which I've explained earlier on. And we can see the top machine learning, linear regression supporting logistic and the rest. We have data clustering, anatomy detection, and the rest. These are all types of top machine learning algorithms. Then we come to machine learning, which is a distinct of what I explained previously. We have 100 machine learning algorithms, which are all of what I've explained. Then what are the skills, the hard skills and the soft skills? The hard skills are what? Subject matter expertise, math, statistics, knowledge, data technical skills. Then what are the soft skills? You have problem solving, storytelling, collaboration. I liaise with you liaise with me. What can we do? We have curiosity, communication, and creativity. In data analytics, creativity is always needed, because when you are doing your dashboard, you need creativities. Then we come to what data science career is for you. We see data science as a career of business analyst, a data analyst, a data scientist, a machine learning engineer, a decision science analysis, a security data analysis. These are careers. There are a lot of areas under data science, but these are the top areas for now. We have these. These are an infograph showing that, okay, if I want to become a data analyst, did I need a lot of programming language, a programming tools? Yes, definitely you need. Did I need a lot of data visualization computation? These are all what we need. You can see that under data analysis, which is the track we are following, we don't need much of statistics, we don't need data wrangling, we don't need machine learning, we don't need software engineering, we don't need multi-variable calculus and linear algebra. But what we need mostly, we need data visualization and communication. And we need little less of programming tools, which is drag and drop, a DAS expression, a normal communication. That is what we need. Then we come to roles of a data analyst. A data analysis turn data into information, which can offer ways to improve a business, thus affecting business and the rest. What do? They analyze data, they collect data, they are researcher, they define quality of the data, they execute analytical mathematical composition, calculation, they perform data cleansing, they perform data mining, they report research and data analysis. Where did they work? Work as service provider for any companies. They work as an IT in an IT environment or in an IT office. These are all what a data analyst does for a living. Then we go to skills needed by data analysts. You have data visualization, data cleaning, MATLAB, which is not included in this, which is not going to be necessary. It's not even necessary in this cohort. R is not needed. A little bit of Python, which is not a normal coding, just a little bit. We have SQL, which is going to be included. Machine learning, which is not going to be more or less included. We have linear algebra, not included, not needed. We have Excel. Excel skills is needed in data analysis, because as a good analyst, you must have a foundation or a fundamental of Excel as one of the critical thinking is needed, communication and data visualization, which is very, very necessary in this track. Then this is a infograph of a data analysis person, what it did, anything. You can see that you collect data, collection of data is 51%. You organize it, which is 11%. Interpret data, which is 20%. Study it and apply, which is 31%. And all this information. Then what are the difference between data scientists and a data analyst? This shows us that a data science deals with various data operations. This deals with arrays of data, cleaning, transformation, generating, and inferencing of data, and this with structured data. This with unstructured and structured data. We can see that every data we are going to use in the course of all this thing is going to be a structured data. We don't need to be wrangling it, mining it, or going into the essence of, okay, we collect it and we want to clean it. Everything is done with what structured data. And a data analyst knows Excel, SQL, R, Power BI, or Tableau. Then this is the roadmap to the cohort. The second week, which is going to be what? Introduction to Power BI. I would like to share my screen. If you pardon me for this, I would like to share my screen to show them a view of how a Power BI interface is.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm just conscious of time.
Okay, just.
Are you okay? He wants to share his screen. Is everybody fine with that? I don't want to make assumptions. Okay, Louis said yes. So we might just be about 10 minutes behind, so we can still see front end. Okay, they're saying yes. Okay, go on. We've got enough yeses. Go for it.
Okay, I'm coming. Let me share it.
He's still going to, at least this is to give you a flavor of what to expect. Yeah. So from next week, we'll start introduction to Power BI. We'll do introduction to Excel. We do SQL. Then we have a project. Then we do introduction to Python. then Python libraries, and then we do projects. So that will give you an overview of what a data analyst can do. Oh my God, Louis said very detailed and informative. Thank you for that feedback. So are you still sharing?
Yes, yes, I'm still sharing.
It's not showing, no.
I'm coming, man.
Okay, you know with Zoom, sometimes you have to come out of one screen.
Yes, ma, that is okay. Okay, let me share now. Okay.
So thank you everybody for
So this, hello, can you see now?
Yes, we can. Oh,
Okay,
wow.
This is a analysis of the COVID-19 analyze. I did last year when I just let me just give it a try. I just did this last year when the COVID-19 was at the peak of it. So I analyzed this data last year. Hello? So I did this last year.
Yeah.
And like now, I don't need to input any other thing to get my data to know the feedback of people, active cases by country, or total recovery by country. I just have to come to refresh and refresh it. When I refresh it, it definitely shows me the number of people that have recovered in the country. I don't need to go online to make any research or to say, okay, let me just go through or read an article to show. I come here, refresh by itself and show me the number of people. So this is just an overview of Power BI, which is a powerful tool for visualization. I tell you, it's a powerful tool for visualization, Power BI and Tableau. A lot of people shy away from coding, but when they shy away from coding, Tableau or Power BI is one of those things that give them comfort. Because a lot of companies, a lot of industries use Power BI and Tableau for visualization. And it's sweet. It's very sweet to use Power BI and Tableau. I'm telling you, it's sweet. Because it doesn't take drag and drop. You analyze, you do everything, you visualize it. What you're doing, you're saying it. It's not that you're not saying it, you're saying it.
Oh yeah, we've heard you.
I hover over to this. Okay. So
let's get to the data team now. They'll learn more from next week. So I think you've shared of what needs to be downloaded, any apps like this Power BI or whatever they need to do in advance, so that by next week we're just hitting the ground running.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you so much, John. That is brilliant. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Does anyone have any question for John? So the data team, you're in for a treat, as you can see. Victoria is here as well. She's brilliant. So between the two of them, and Adara will be supporting them, they will be, okay, Semi says, I have a question.
Okay, just a quick one. With the Power BI, I already sent an email regarding, because I couldn't do it, I use a Mac, and the information I got was will be guided on how to, on what to do for people that use Macs. So yeah, that's my question.
John, so she's a Mac user like myself. Are we still able to use Power BI and all these applications? Favor, you can start sharing your screen now. Are we able to use Power BI? John, Victoria, is either of you here? Are there any restriction as to, what application we're using? John, we can't hear you if you're speaking. We can't hear you. I don't know.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. John, did you hear the question? Okay, type in the chat box what the answer is for a Mac user to use any of these Power BI and so on and so forth. So are you ready now, Mr. Favor?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's go for it. We've literally run out of time, so we need to be possible.
Oh. Okay. Good afternoon once again, everyone. My name is Favor Afolabi, and I'm one of the facilitators that would be working with you on front-end web development track of this bootcamp. Very briefly, in the next few minutes, we are going to be running through what web development is, what front-end web development is, and what exactly are we going to be doing in this bootcamp, what the next 8 weeks will be about. So firstly, let's treat this. What is web development? This, I believe, is not a very strange term to any of us. It is the process of building, developing, and maintaining web applications. Now, web applications are the applications that reside on the web. So, for instance, you've been to twitter.com, you're using facebook.com, you buy and sell products on Amazon and the likes. So, those are applications that reside on the web. You visit them on browsers, you use them on your browsers. Yes. So, web developers are then the people that work on them, they're the ones that build them. So, for instance, if you are setting up a school, you might decide to automate the process of your school. So instead of students coming in to register with paper and pen or whatever, you can build a web application to manage the student base. If you have a store, you can build web application to manage your store. Those are web applications. Also, web developers can also build websites. I'll quickly clarify that. Websites are basically just some information pages. So for instance, you can create a portfolio page for yourself and host it somewhere. That's a website. So as a web developer, you can create a website for yourself. You can create websites for stores and all of that. So that's what web development is about. The process of building, developing, and maintaining website and web applications. So very quickly, we have basically 3 tiers in web development. We call it the 3-tier architecture. I'm going to use this as example. Imagine you enter a bank to open an account. So the first thing you do is obtain a form. Let's forget about the digitalized version now, the part of registering online using USSD or their mobile banking applications and all of that. You fill a form, they give you a form, you fill that form. Now, after filling the form, you give it back to the cashier or whoever that submitted the form to you. And when that person gets the form, they attempt to verify the things you've entered. Is this correct? When they requested for email, what did you enter? When they requested for address and all of that, what did you fill in? So that person checks. And after that, the person takes it to a place you are not aware of. So you just saw the person leave the desk, took the form to a place you probably didn't know, or your eyes was following until the person enters an office. So what happens in that place, you exactly do not know. But this is it. In that section, they will process what you've submitted. So they already have a base of their customers. They already have a place where they keep all accounts. So they had their own accounts to the existing ones, of course, after validating again. So they will try to check this person, does he have an account with us before? What are the things we need to know about this person? They check that. And after that, they put it in a place. Now, this analogy has briefly explained what web development is about. The first stage is the presentation tier. That is where we have the client end. So you go on Facebook now, you want to open an account, they present you a form to fill. That is in similitude to the form you obtain at
That was
bank.
what they told me.
So when you fill that form, you submit. What happens when you submit, you don't know until you get a response. But this is it in web development. That first stage where you fill the form is the presentation tier. Then we have the business tier. That is the application server. So when you submit that form, it goes to a script that will process the form. So that process, that script lies on a layer that we call the back end layer. Back end layer. So in that back end layer, what you've submitted gets processed, gets validated, and then gets saved in the third layer, which is database, the data tier now. So the first tier, that's the front end, where you are presented with a form to fill, you are presented with something visible. Yeah. So when you fill that and then you click on that button, submit, the button attempts to take what you filled to a layer that you are not seeing. That's the back end now. So on the back end, the technology there will attempt to gather everything you've submitted, process them, and save it in the last stage, which is the data tier. So let's quickly check what are the technologies that exist on all of these layers. the presentation tier, business tier, and all of that. So the presentation tier, that's the front end now. I will use the word front end for this tier from this moment onward. The front end is where we create what the user can relate with, what the user can interact with. And the technologies that are available here includes HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, JavaScript frameworks like Angular, React, Vue, etc. and a lot others on the front end. So what those ones do basically is to bring things together that user can feel, can see, and can relate with. So you don't bring a script to the front end for users to see. Of course, they won't understand. So imagine you are writing a PHP code for someone that wants to open an account. Like, what does that mean? So they expect you to present them something they can easily interact with. And this is part of where the UI UX design team come in. So they help us to craft out a structure, a very good one that users can easily relate with. And the work of the developers on this layer is then to use code to bring that to life. When designers create their own prototype, it is not usable by the users. Aha. But that prototype is what we then convert into what users can interact with. So that's on the front end. On the back end now, we have technologies like PHP, Node.js, Java, C++, Python, Laravel, Codeigniter, Falcon, and all of that. We have several of them on the back end, and their own responsibility majorly is to interface between the front end and the database. Prior to this moment, several decades ago, when the internet was just evolving, we have just two layers, the front end and then the layer that handles the back end and database. But when it was discovered that it would be better three, so it was separated at that time. So that makes it possible for us to process certain things at the back end, save it to the database, and send the response back to the front end. So when you submit a form, you don't just leave the page like that. There is a response that comes to tell you that, yes, your response has been saved. That's on the front end. It's not the front end that processed the request. It's the back end that did that. The front end will only wait for the response, just like you will wait at the desk for that cashier to bring you a response that your account has been created and this is your account details and all of that. So the last layer, that's the database. Now, this is where we have things like MySQL, Oracle SQL, PostgreSQL, and all of that. As the name implies, this is where we keep the data. It's as simple as that. This is where we keep the data. So when users submit a form, I'm using form as an example, not that everything there is about web application is just forms. No, it's not just forms. I'm using form as an example. So on the database layer, you have where we keep the data, we store the data for us to retrieve it later. So when you create an account on Facebook now, the next time you come, you don't need to create an account again. What do you simply do? You log in. So as at the time of logging in, you supply your information on the front end, the first layer, you submit. The second layer, which is backend, we attempt to process what you've submitted. Do we have someone using this phone number? So let's say Facebook is collecting phone number and password. So the backend will attempt to check. Do we have someone using this phone number? Okay, we have. Is this the right password? Okay, this is it. If it is the right password and the combination is right, then allow the person to continue to the dashboard. It's as simple as that. So that backend layer will consult the database to check from all the data that we've saved here, do we have any of it that matches these credentials? If it is, if there is, allow them to continue. If there isn't, just tell them you are imputing invalid details. So the front end will tell you again that you're imputing invalid details. So this is the old scope. This is just the frame. Now on that front end again, the front end will not want to present you such error message and use green color. This is part of where the UI UX design team comes in again. Because as a developer, you might just feel, let me just present the message and then put some green color that you are unable to log in and something is smiling at their face, green color. Aha. So the UI UX team will have crafted the design. They know what the user would understand easily because they've done the research. Aha. So when you are presenting such messages, it will be in something like a red color, then the user knows that, oh, something is wrong here and all of that. So that is the frame for the 3-tier architecture, the front end, the back end, and the database layer. So the focus of this bootcamp really is on the front end web development. We won't be touching so much of back end database. Our discussions might be reaching them. We might just mention something about them, but the focus majorly is on front-end web development, that layer that deals with what user sees and interact with, how to craft out beautiful pages. There are pages you have been to and you are like, oh, come on, this page is fine. Aha. How to build things like that. You probably want to know about a business. You just go to their website and they present you some beautiful videos and pictures that makes you want to buy into their service already, even without knowing their office. Aha. So those are the kind of things that happens on the front end. We present something interesting for the users to see. So our focus and job majorly for the next 8 weeks is to dive into what are the things we use to create such beautiful pages. And I can assure you that at the end of those 8 weeks, you would be equipped with the necessary knowledge to create any page you want, probably a portfolio page for yourself, an information page for your business, or anything. Okay, so there is a roadmap to front-end web development. A roadmap, sorry, basically is like a guideline, a pathway that you take in achieving something. So when we say you are on the pathway of becoming a front-end web developer, what are the things that you must learn? What are the things that you must touch before you can say, I am a front-end web developer? So time might not permit me to exactly explain everything here. When we get to the class, we'll be discussing more of that. So I'll just quickly go through the most obvious ones. And the most basic technology for front-end web development is still HTML, hypertext markup language, HTML. So this HTML is the building block of all web pages. So even this web page that you're looking at, it was written with HTML. Facebook.com was written with HTML. But the thing with HTML is that it doesn't have the full capacity to make the website beautiful. It only creates the block. So see it as though you are making a building. So the first thing you do is make the concrete. I'm not a building contractor, but I believe that's what they do. So um, concrete, get sand, water, and all of that, then begin to lay the foundation. So during building process, you might not like what you are seeing. You might be passing by such building, you might not like it because it's not fascinating yet. Now, come back after a few months when they have applied CSS. CSS in that case is what beautifies that building. When they have plastered the building, they have painted, they have applied decoration and all of that, then you'll be like, oh, wow, this is what they were creating. So that's how it is. HTML creates the block, the building block, the frame. Aha. CSS now comes in to beautify it. We call it cascading style sheet. So it styles that thing that you've created, that skeleton, that block that you've created. CSS comes to style it. CSS comes to style it, then it becomes a beautiful web page. And the third one here is JavaScript. After making your building, there are certain things you want to be able to perform in and outside that building. Something like you want to run water throughout the rooms so that you won't have to go outside to fetch water and all of that. So JavaScript is what does that for you. So you've made the building, it is beautiful already, but you want some level of comfort inside that house. You want to apply, you want to beautify, after beautifying, sorry, you want to, okay, electrify the house so that you have light everywhere. You want to run water, you want to do all kinds of functions inside that building. HTML will not do that for you. CSS will not do that for you. The guy that is responsible for introducing those extra functions is JavaScript. So JavaScript comes to apply some function to your web page to make it functional, to make it dynamic, and not just some information page and all of that. JavaScript is a very vast programming language, very vast programming language, applied in several fields, including data science, applied in several fields on the front end, on the back end. I mentioned a technology the other time, Node.js. Node.js. So it's a JavaScript framework for back end. So JavaScript is very versatile, very vast. Once you learn it, you can apply it to virtually any of the fields, any of the programming fields. The concept you'll be learning from there is applicable to all other programming languages. And that's that about that. For the sake of time, we won't be checking every of these other components that makes up the roadmap. But when we get to class, we would be diving deep into them. Now let's go back to where we stopped. So after learning the whole thing about front-end web development. Now, we might not be checking the whole of front-end web development as it is, because 8 weeks is not exactly enough to do everything. But you can be sure that everything you need to kickstart a successful career as a front-end web developer will be communicated to you. You will have understood it even within that 8 weeks. So after getting all of that, after getting to know HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, and every technology that we mentioned that exists on the front end, what then is the use? Because it is the focus, the use that exactly drives what we do. So if you are not sure of the result that you are going to obtain from this, you might not be really interested in going for it. But when you are aware of the opportunities that you are open to as a result of knowing it, I believe it will help. So what are the opportunities that exist for front-end web developers? I would categorize it into two for the sake of time. The first one basically is working as a front-end developer for an organization. Now, every organization in recent years needs developers because one, they want to present their business to the world, and two, they want to make things easier for their business. So businesses are not going backward. They are striving to go forward. They want to do things that will make things easier for them, that will make operations easier for them. So definitely they need the service of developers. They need the service of developers. And across the world, one of the most sought after skills is web development. One of the most sought after skills in industries is web development. You are not limited to a tech environment alone. No. As a developer, you can work with an hospital because when you get there, you are automating the process by which they operate. So your service is needed there. As a developer, you can work with a bank, of course. So your bank has a mobile application that they are using to make things better for their customers. They need developers to maintain that for them. They need developers that will sit with their website to make sure that it's always up and then it's meeting the standard, it's meeting the needs of their business. So that's part of where you can fit in as a front-end web developer. All industries, agriculture, uh, education, all sectors needs such service. And the second one is that when you have these skills, you can stand on your own and make something that the world needs. So for instance, after learning these things, you can use that knowledge, you can convert it into something that your business needs. So you have a business in all these days and you have a website. This will provide you an opportunity to create one for yourself. Uh, you have maybe I don't know what profession, any profession, you want a page that could tell people about what you do. So maybe you're a lawyer now, you want people to know about what you do. You want people to be able to engage your service even without seeing you. Aha. So this provides you that opportunity. So the first one, working with other companies, and the second one, working for yourself, applying the knowledge that you acquire here to your business, yourself, branding yourself, and all of that. So now, uh, let me quickly rush through the things that we're going to be doing for the next 8 weeks. Next week, we are going to be dealing with HTML, that's hypertext markup language. I said this is the building block of all web pages. So we're going to be running the installations. Oh, you would have installed before class. Everything you need to install before class has been sent to you. So you install them, and then when you come to class, you just start immediately. So we take HTML. The following week, you are going to be solving something on HTML. Every classes will be practical, no theory. We won't be saying much of stories and all of that. It will be purely practical. And after every class, you have an assignment to work on for the next week. So after finishing class on Saturday, it's not you are not closing your laptop till the following Saturday. No, you have Monday, Tuesday till Friday to work on something. You have a project to work on throughout the week. So the following week we have CSS. That's where we begin to learn how to beautify the pages, how to apply styles, how to make it look good. And then an assignment too. Like I said, after every class, we have something to work on. So we take that, take the assignment. The following week again, we take CSS. It's a very wide concept. It's a very wide technology. So we are going to be using 2 weeks on that. So after CSS, we go into Bootstrap, Bootstrap is a CSS library. It makes it easier for us to write CSS. There's what we call libraries and frameworks in web development. They are packages that exist to make things easier for us. So when we say Bootstrap as a CSS library, it makes it easier for us to beautify our web page. So there are things you might not need to write out your own CSS. You just call a Bootstrap class. So those are the things we'll be learning from there. And then from that place, we move on to JavaScript. So here we are going to be dealing with that language that brings functions to our web page, that brings functionalities to our web page. So we learn several things about programming. This is where we begin to go deep into programming. We begin to learn concepts like conditionals, loop, and every other thing that exists, data types, programming basically. So after that, we take our project and then we have some time to demo, to present. Of course, every assignment will be submitted and checked. Every assignment will be submitted and checked. So, but the final project will be a more comprehensive one that will encompass everything we'll be learning from HTML till JavaScript. And then we have the time to present that. So I think this is it for now. For the sake of time, when we get to classes, we'll begin to dive deeper into all of these concepts. We'll begin to learn how to make these things happen. And I promise that it's going to be a really, really engaging 8 weeks from now. It's going to be a really engaging weeks. It will be exciting. It will be wonderful. I would say myself and every other person that are going to be working together for this boot camp, we are prepared, and you can be sure that you are not coming in to just have some service knowledge. Yes, you are going to be going deep into the things that you need to. And thank you. So if there's any question, we can ask now.
Thank you, Favor. Thank you for taking that. You made it so interesting, you know, and the fact that, you know, people can actually build their own website in 8 weeks makes it so like, oh my God, that's what I need to do right now. Debbie wants to ask a question. Debbie, go for it. We're just about finished, guys. Apologies.
Oh my God. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now I'm convinced why God directed me here. I've been stuck with this platform for the last 2.5 months, and I'm grateful to God. So I have 2 questions. One is a request, something for you to think about. So would there be, because thank you, Favor. So Favor said, obviously, 8 weeks is not going to be enough to get like the foundation. So my question is, or a request, would there be a front end too? So that whatever is not covered in the first session, like a continuation, could be covered in the second class. So that's a request, BB Tech. Also, for me personally, when John did the data analytics or analysis, I was getting kind of choked, and I just knew straight away that's not for me. But I was smiling through this front-end development as the same thing I did from the first one, the product design. And I was glad that they kind of interweave. So, and that's why I asked the question, when is the second and the next cohort already? Because I see myself jumping into front end after UX UI. So thank you so much for this. And that's my request, or more like a question, Baby Tech. But thank you guys. I am convinced that I'm starting with product design, and then I would go on to web development. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Debbie. You asked 2 questions. One of them was, you know, are we going to cover enough in this cohort 1? Now, what Favor said is, for this cohort, everything you need to be a front-end web developer, you will get. Okay, so what he's saying is we're not doing back end. And Favor, you can step in here. You know, you're not doing back end, you're not doing data, because data is part of what John is going to teach. But for you to design a website, to do HTML, to do CSS that will make it look pretty, to bootstrap it, to put buttons on it and everything, you would get. Okay, but he's saying that that is not the end of front-end web development. Bear in mind, 8 weeks is not enough to know everything that you need to know. But what you need to get you going, to get you started, you will get. I hope I'm explaining myself clearly.
Yes,
So what you need to get you going, either in a role or to build a functional website, you will get. But then to say I'm an expert, it will come with years of experience and things that you continue to do and more learning, which means you can decide to be an expert in JavaScript, in Laravel, and other languages. But for you to start, the people that came the last cohort, they ended up building a website during the 8 weeks. They had a functional website. So if anyone is thinking about front end and you think, oh, maybe I can even build a personal website for myself, like Naomi or Chisholm, you want to have your own, you know, that is something you can achieve within that. Which if you want to now work for somebody, you can say, here is my portfolio. This is what I built. So, then question number 2 was about when is the next cohort? The answer right now is, I don't know. Because in female tech, we have other things in pipeline. So we want to do an accelerator towards the end of this year from September. And that will be for founders that want to actually launch a tech product. So we're not going to teach them how to create websites and how to do data analysis. You're going to have a concept, an idea, and we're going to help you create a minimum viable product. So that's a different, slightly different offering. But if, like when we did the last one, people were like asking, when is the next one? And I don't want to overload my team as well. We would probably do one towards the end of the year, but we don't have a date or time yet. So if anyone is interested, just send us an email. When we know for certain that's going to happen, we will let everybody know. It's most probably going to be January, but if we have enough interest towards the end of the year, like November-ish, thereabouts. I hope I've answered your question. And that will give you enough time
that
to
answers my question.
Sorry?
It does answer my question, but my reason for asking for the front end too, obviously, they have become experts with a couple of years experience. So yes, as much as just this 8 weeks would help you start, be able to build a website if you put in the work, I just felt that it will be great to still have that support, to still learn extra. I mean, I would pay £500 for this class. Honestly, I know the last time you put it out for £10 and I missed that, but I wasn't ready in my heart. That's why I didn't push it. Otherwise, I could have paid the £45 at a time. But now, just this is a taster. And I'm saying to myself, you know what? I'm stuck here. Like literally, I am stuck here. So if this price was to triple, quadruple, I would pay for it. So 8 weeks is not going to be enough to learn front end. Obviously, yes, it will get me to build a website, but I'm just quoting Favor, just the fact that even 8 weeks is not enough to do to learn front end alone. It's a request that could we have an extension, so it will be like a part 2, so as to learn the extras on front end. Obviously, then people will start to build experiences over time, so that one has an holistic view of the front end. It's not going to be enough. Mentoring, work experience, and all of that will still come. But front end too will be a great addition. Thank you so much.
Whoa, Debbie, you've just opened a can of worms right now. You know what? Everything is possible. I will consult with my team, and I've heard you, and we will look into it. Yeah, we'll look into it. I feel what you're saying, because we are still going to be here. We're still going to have the community. We're still going to be mentoring people. But for anyone that wants an in-depth, like, okay, part 2, we would look into that, and I'll let you know how that will go. Yeah.
Thank you in advance. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Abby, you have a question? Thank you, everybody, for still staying tuned, even though we've gone over time. I really, really appreciate it. But I think it's important that this onboarding, we go through it smoothly and everybody understands, you know, and I have the opportunity to ask their question. Abby?
Yeah, thank you. I was just going to say that I agree with Debbie. When I came onto this course, I thought it was going to be sort of an introduction, sort of masterclass. And then there'll be something following on, which will now entail, you know, you having more in-depth into specializing in whatever you need to learn. Whilst, as I said earlier in my introduction, mine is just to have an understanding of what goes on. But I'm aware that there's so many other people that might actually want to use this to develop a business, you know, to be known as a web developer, or my new buzzword, UX, UI, practitioner, or whatever you want to call it. I think you should really consider having like a part 2, which is definitely is not mandated. It's not mandatory for everyone, but it's just like a follow-on course. This being the introduction, and then a follow-on course to say, okay, if you now like to have further information in some of the courses, to base yourself as a specialist or professional in that area, then you can undertake the follow-on course.
Perfect. Thank you, Abby. So we've got 2 people that have said the same thing. And I'm sure maybe there are others in the class sitting thinking, okay, if I want to specialize in front end, how do I take that forward? Thank you, Abby. Thank you so much for that. Louise, you wanted to say something?
Hi, yeah, good afternoon. Thank you so much, Buki. And thank you so much to all the facilitators. You guys were amazing. It was quite informative and detailed. And that posed a question for me, because now I'm thinking, should I do all 3? I can't really make up my mind. Looking at the data analytics one, it was quite detailed. And I think I agree with Abby and Debbie, because after 8 weeks, will you be able to do as much after 8 weeks? Because I actually signed up for data analytics, but looking at it now, I think I want to go on the UI or the UX, and I've got information to onboard onto data analytics. If I change my mind after next week, can I go back to UX and UI? That's my question.
Okay, so you need to change your mind now on Wednesday.
Okay, so does it mean when you send the recording, I watch it again to just make up my mind on which one I want to go for?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes,
but that data, it seems to be the main thing now, isn't it?
It's like oil. It's like, you know, it's just gold mine, really, you know, and you can't go wrong with it because every organization needs it.
They do need it, because if you think about it, when you're running a business, you need all the data. When you're selling a product, you need the data. So whatever you're thinking in life, because I'm thinking I work with highways where I work in transport. So all the cars that ply the road, we need to know the number of cars, the HGV, the lower car, so we see why the road is being damaged. So with that data and information we've been able to acquire, we knew what was needed. So I'm thinking that data analysis seems to be the way forward. So thinking about your next cohort, I might now then just have to register for UX and UI. I don't even know, Buki, honestly, so much confusion. But my question is, you said that we can...
the UX UI is taking place at 12 o'clock on Saturday.
Yes,
the
yes, it is.
2 o'clock.
No,
so you can do both.
Oh,
if the capacity.
Oh, okay.
Well, BBT just said one was at 12 and the data was at 2 o'clock, didn't you?
Yes.
Yes, she did.
I think it would be too much. If you're already like, I don't know what to do, try one and see how it goes. Try one and see how it goes. And We're going to send a replay so you can.
Okay. Okay. All right then. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm done.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much for your contribution. And do you know, I thought about it when we wanted to do this overview for everyone, like, am I going to create more confusion than clarity? But I'm glad we did it, because there's no point people going into something they're not sure about. If you're 100% sure, at least you know that these roles, look at what Favor explained, there are 3 tiers: the business, the middle layer, and the database layer. So now for anyone, even if you were to even present that, you know that, okay, this is how these things connect. And he was dropping it that the UI UX will do the design, it all joins up. None of this is going to waste, regardless of where you find yourself. I just want to remind you that none of them will go to waste, because they're all intertwined and there is still value in learning any of the 3. So I'll send a replay after the session, watch it, see what you think. And the deadline is Wednesday if people want to move around, because we need to plan, obviously, and get ourselves ready and know how many people we're expecting in each class. So, and I've heard you about creating an in-depth program. Like I said, when we started, this was just cohort 2. We just started cohort 1 to like, okay, let's see how this goes. There are a lot of people, we need to get more women into this. We need to support people to get into this role. And we had a lot of interest. I would say even for the first one, over 100 people. Obviously, for some people, money is an issue, but we couldn't run it at £10. It was just not sustainable. So even now, I've got some colleagues telling me, are you crazy? That price is too low for what you're doing, but we'll see how it goes. We're gonna try and help people as much as possible. We had people that sponsored other colleagues to be here today. Even my senior brother said, oh, I like what you're doing, Bookie. Here is money. Can you sponsor, some people for me? I don't want my name mentioned. I don't want anybody to thank me. I just want to sow a seed. So that is what we're doing, in as much as there is still a cost element. And I want you to help me thank all my facilitators and the bootcamp managers. They are amazing. They've done a lot of work to get us to here behind the scenes. And, it can only be because of them. I can't run it alone. And, they're volunteering even more than what I'm giving them. So thank you so much, everybody. If I don't mention your name, you know yourselves. You are the real MVP behind the scene. Thank you so much. And we would have a debrief and think about all these things. We always have meetings to see how we can move things forward. Just a quick recap before we go. If you're not on the forum, please register, add your profile, add your picture, post your question, any question whatsoever. That is the go-to for us, is the website. Connect with others. Let's invite others as well. Let people know what is going on here. I think even if people were to come for just this intro alone, I was thinking, should we invite the previous cohort and everything? There is still value in it. Even if you're not going to continue the entire program, at least, people would know, okay, what have I been doing all these years? I need to really do something different. So ways we can support you. You can join the Talent Hub, become a member, become a volunteer, apply for mentorship, and send your CV in, because as time goes on, we're going to be working with companies for talent pipeline, if there are opportunities, and I put that if and emphasize it, because I don't want to promise when I can't deliver. That's not my nature, but trust me, if something comes up, I will reach out to my community first to make sure they get something out of it. I'm just going through my slide to see that we have done everything we said we're going to do. Thank you, Tokwe. Everybody have been really, really, really great. Thank you so much for your patience, for sitting it out. I know it can be a little bit overwhelming, but just remember something. If you're taking anything away from today, know that we are here to support you, that you're not alone in this journey. And you can see how friendly and warm the facilitators are. You haven't even met all of them. Only one of them spoke today. And for each cohort, for each work stream rather, there is minimum of 2. So you know that you're in good hands. So don't feel overwhelmed, like, oh, I came here for this, now I don't know. Don't worry about it. Just take it a step at a time. we would break it down and make sure you are okay. And massive thanks, shout out to our partners as well. They make this possible. If you're not following us, please do so. What else do I have to say? Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. Does anyone else have any question that you've been thinking about from beginning to now? Is there anything that you need us to clarify? Because like I said, from next week, we're going straight into our different groups. I may not be in your group, I may be in your group, I don't know, but this is your opportunity to ask me anything.
Excuse me, BB Tech, Naomi here.
Naomi.
Hi. I'm a bit confused now after this lady spoke about 3 different parts. I don't know. I'm like, what different parts? I thought the bootcamp was just one bootcamp. So I got confused now. I don't know which are the 3 major parts. So sorry.
Okay, so the 3 major parts are product design, front-end web development, and data analytics. If I can remember correctly, you registered for front-end.
Okay.
Which is what Favor, the last speaker, took just now. However, you know, after people have seen different things, they're happy, like, oh, maybe I should start with product design, or maybe I should do X, Y, and Z. There's no way a person can do the 3 together.
Okay.
Imagine each one is 2 hours from next week. So imagine you book yourself into 3, that's 6 hours. And you still have assignments and you have other commitments to do. Yeah. It's gonna be too much. So hence why we split it into 3. You take that one, you know, focus on that journey.
Okay.
Get that sorted. Then if you think you want to layer it with something else, then you can go for the next one. But what I'm saying is they are all intertwined. They cannot work in isolation. If you're in a project, you already know that already. So none of them is wasted. Every single work stream is valid. It depends on what you as a person want to get out of it. So if you want to be a product designer, that's a niche. They hire them in UK. Some get up to 450 a day, UI UX designer, or even more. And if you want to be a front-end web developer, you can run your own boutique, or you can just set it up for your own brand. So it depends on what people want to do. And if you know that, okay, I think I want to go into data, then, you know, but broadly, it's gonna be overwhelming. When the last cohort, we planned 1 hour. Look at us now, we're still here. It's never 1 hour. It's never 1 hour, it's always 2 hours and more. Because once you get into it, you don't want to leave. It's so interesting. Look at Favor, the way it's just flushing it out. And then it's now showing you and you're creating it. You'll be so excited that you just want to be there. So last cohort 1, we did 1 hour, we went over. So we said this one, we're going to do 2 hours. If you want to drop off at 1 hour, that's fine. But within that 2 hours, trust me, you are having so much fun, like, oh my God, I can actually do this.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
No problem at all. So are we all clear about next steps now? Do we know what we need to do from next week? Aside from the people that are not sure whether they want to move, do you know how to share information, how to reach out to the instructors, how to submit your assignment, what you need to download before coming? Do we know everything that we need to know? You can drop it in the chat box. And if you have any question, I'm in the Telegram, all the Telegram groups, ask away. The facilitators are there. They are your go-to for any technical questions. So I'm not a blocker, but anything else, I'm happy to facilitate that. Okay. So
I would like to speak with Flavor. Flavor. Okay, I'm sorry. Favor, please. Could I have a chat with you later on, or BB Tech, if possible?
Okay. Do you have my number? You can call me.
Okay. All right, sis. Thank you so much.
I'll ping you my number.
Okay. Thank you.
Right. Anyone else? Marufat, did you want to say something?
Oh, hello, good afternoon again. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, for people that registered for front-end development, I would like if they can download any code editor like Atom or Visual Studio Code. That's the VS Code. That's primarily what we'll be using for code editing.
Okay, do you want to drop that in the group chat, in the Telegram?
Okay, I will do that.
So Marufat is saying she's one of the instructors for front end. You didn't introduce yourself. So she's saying that you need to download Visual Studio, and she would drop that in the group chat for us. So that code is like, it's like a platform. That is where you'll be writing your HTML and everything. So it's best to have it done beforehand. Yeah. So she's one of our front-end developer facilitator. So you can reach out to Marufat as well if you have any questions. She will be in the group chat. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everybody. It's been wonderful being here with you all, and I cannot thank you enough. I think that is it, really. I hope you found it really useful. Please give us your feedback. You know, I like to have people's feedback. Tag me, tag Female Tech, share your experience today. Let people know how great we are, if you think we are great. And that's it, really. We'd love to hear from you and see you next week. So if you want to drop your feedback, you can put it in the chat box for us. How has it been for you? Good, great, fantastic. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, everybody.
Okay, thank you so much, and see you next week. God bless. Bye. Have a lovely weekend.
So much. Have a lovely weekend, everyone.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Have a lovely weekend.
Thank you, Chisholm. Thank you, Tammy. Ayomide. I didn't even hear a lot of people's voice today. Oh my God. Thank you, Mo. Thank you, Kikelomo. Thank you, Koinsola. Thank you, Augustina. Thank you, Efe. Who else am I missing? Thank you, John. Thank you, Marufa. Thank you, Timmy. Thank you, Bami. Thank you, Ogechiku. Okay, are you okay? We didn't hear your voice today. I know you had some questions as well. Hope we managed to address your questions. Thank you, Victoria. Koinsola.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Hope you found it very, very useful.
Yes.
See you next week.
Same here.
Okay, Chuku, did we answer your question?